Hello everyone, welcome to Perseverance IAS. Today's important articles to be read in the Hindu are Gupkar Alliance leaders decide to attend meeting with PM Modi. So you have to read this article in terms of the delimitation process of Jammu and Kashmir or Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and subsequent completion or conduction of elections in Jammu and Kashmir, then the restoration of statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. The next article to be read in this edition are Rare Pygmy Hogs released in Manas National Park. This is the second article that you have to read today, which is very important in terms of conservation. Moving on, the articles here are a little bit state specific. The editorials in this particular edition are not that great or important for civil services because they are too specific and politically little bit heavy. So the editorial for today is a welcome spike that talks about a vaccination drive and ramp up of vaccination. The second article that you should be reading in editorial is policy creep that talks about the new e-commerce guidelines or the amendments of e-commerce guidelines that were brought last year. Moving on to the next op-ed is not that important this day. Coming to the news aspect of it, the first article that you should be reading this week is, or this day is, the Afghan violence has risen, Jaishankar. The second article is 4 theatre commands likely this year particularly. The following article that should be read is world's first GM rubber sapling planted in Assam. This is for prelims purposes and again focus on people-centric agenda in post-COVID development transition. This is for mains because you get an understanding of how development process should take place post-recovery or post-pandemic. The next article is House Panel for Study on Malnutrition. Again, this is very important as to which parliamentary panels are working towards this issue and which ministries come under the purview of these panels. Moving on to the news aspect, over 50 lakhs jab given in a single day again. This is important because yesterday India experienced the highest number of doses given during an inoculation drive. In that regard, it is important. Delta plus variant is a variant of concern according to government. That is one more important article. The second that should be read in consonance with the earlier article, that is Delta plus article, is jabs key to boost economy, says VK Paul. Again, in terms of human rights commission and human rights, right to life should take priority. This is important in prelims and answer writing in mains. As far as international and world is concerned, no military solution to Afghan situation, US tells Taliban. You have to read this article with the earlier article where violence has risen in Afghanistan according to External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. This article again is important because at UNHRC grave concerns raised over Xinjiang province. Again, you need to know where Xinjiang province is and which country and where this particular joint statement is being released and by whom. So the next article important is why China is targeting cryptocurrencies. You have to read this particularly because you have to draw parallels between the Chinese policy or attitude towards cryptocurrencies and Indian government's attitudes and policies towards cryptocurrencies. You need to know what the Chinese government is doing to draw parallels between our policies and their policies, because cryptocurrencies is going to be an important part for both prelims and mains. In terms of economy, that is business, tying reforms incentives helped widen adoption. This is important and you have to remember what are the four reforms that the central government is talking about. The other article important in business is new utility to aid checks for IT complaints. You need to know what those are, what are TDS deductors are, and which IT companies are working with income tax department. The final article to be read in this today's newspaper is states debt cost rise as yields hit 7%. So you need to know what are the parameters that are affecting the state bonds and so on and so forth. Thank you for tuning into Perseverance IAS important articles for Hindu newspaper today. Please tune in tomorrow to get an understanding of which articles to read and which are the important articles for Hindu newspaper. Thank you. Stay safe. Namaste.